But even knowing how big Resident Evil is, I had no idea how big this game would be, how big my character would be.
Literally and figuratively.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Checkpoint Daily. Don't forget to head over to our website, checkpointxp.com, where you can check out all sorts of cool articles and opinions and all sorts of bad takes about what's about to come in the rest of E3 and Summer Games Fest. As always, I'm here joined by Chad Callahan and Callie Scales, but we have a very, very special guest with us here today. We have Maggie Robertson, mo-capturer, voice actor extraordinaire, who also is the voice of one of your favorites out there, Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. Maggie, how are you? And thanks for joining us.
I am fabulous. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, so, the first thing I got to ask is, what was the experience working with Capcom and the Resident Evil team? This is one of the most beloved horror franchises in all of video games. And really, Lady D became the mascot for this entire game. What was that like?
Surreal, wild, bonkers, crazy, insane. Insert other crazy synonyms here. It was totally surreal. This whole experience has been above and beyond anything I ever could have possibly imagined. Working with Capcom is a dream come true. I mean, they are titans in this industry. Capcom, Rosanna Sun with the Workhouse, Steve Kniebly, our director, they're major players. And so the fact that I was even considered to be in the same league as them, in the same room as them, was such an honor and a privilege. And so my whole experience on this game was just full of immense gratitude and humility for where I was at, who I was working with. I learned so much from them. They are fabulous, fabulous people. And the cast is equally as fabulous. It's pretty unique, I think, at this point. Anytime we get together, there is that instant connection. We do feel like family, and that doesn't always happen. I think probably the massive success of this game has been an experience that we're all going through together and that ties us together, and we're all just so happy and grateful to be a part of it. And yeah. Lots of gratitude.
Well, what did you expect when you first started? Was there anything that surprised you from this outcome? I can only imagine being this cultural icon. Like, there's all these things that you didn't expect. Like, what can you tell me about that?
Everything surprised me. Everything.
Really?
Everything. I went into it with no expectations on the outcome. I had just graduated from my master's program. And then I moved to LA in 2019 and booked this job about 6 months after I moved to LA, which is pretty unheard of. And I didn't even know what I had booked at the time. It wasn't until the table read that I started to clue into the fact that, okay, I think I might have booked something pretty big here. I should probably figure out what that is. And then once I figured out that it was Resident Evil, it was like, so mind-blowing. It was one of those, like, sit back in your chair and just breathe and process for a moment, because it's a huge franchise. But even knowing how big Resident Evil is, I had no idea how big this game would be, how big my character would be.
Literally and figuratively.
When you first got to like actually see what Lady Dimitrescu was going to look like, did you know like immediately like, oh, people are going to be a fan of this?
No, I was so clueless throughout the process. I literally was just focused on what was immediately ahead of me. I had no, I think because I was new to this industry, new to this medium in the industry in terms of mocap and performance capture, I had no idea what to expect. And as you said before, like I wasn't even the main big bad of Resident Evil. So I thought I was just going to be, a cool character, but certainly not a character who's now weirdly the poster child of Resident Evil Village. So I never had an expectation on the outcome. I was just happy to be there and grateful to be working on a game of this caliber with people of this caliber. And that was the only expectation I had. I was just like, I'll have a good time.
So I gotta ask this, all right, and I don't want you to get too deep into it, but I gotta ask this. There's been a lot of memes of Lady D. What have you seen any that you just went like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious?
They're all hilarious.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely aware. It was very interesting watching her blow up and the memes starting to roll in before I could even say anything while I was still under NDA. That was kind of fun because I just got to be a lurker in the interwebs and just kind of creep around and not say anything. But yeah, I mean, that stuff is hilarious. It really does. It cracks me up. I know people seem to like her a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've not seen a single thing.
Never. It's so weird. But yeah, like all of that stuff, I totally get it. She is sexy. She's beautiful. She's powerful. She's an icon, you know? So she is all of these things. And I totally get the response that people are having to her. What I will say is overwhelmingly the responses that I'm getting now that the game has been released are incredibly positive, and people writing to thank me about my work and my performance. And that's what I want to talk about the most anyway. So it's all been really, really great, actually. And then I get to like laugh and chortle to myself at all the memes and whatnot. So it's fun. It's a fun time.